Byrne, Marie McKenzie,
Here.
Matthew McNeil,
Here.
Melissa Milroy, Meredith McCleary, Michael Cook.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Raylan Story, Robert Kessler, Ron Drew, Thomas Park, Tim Petrillo,
Here.
Von Freeman. Okay.
So that doesn't sound like we have a quorum. We do not have a quorum. They can't
I'm
vote.
getting on now.
They can't vote on teams. Okay, so this is a bit of a challenge because we have to approve the marketing plan to put it forward to the TDC on next week is our meeting. So by a matter of execution of this plan, how do we? Okay, so do we want to? Well, we can't approve the minutes. So do we want to go into the plan now? Yeah, why don't we just go into the plan?
Okay, one moment. How many do we need for quorum? 19.
Is,
Okay, put your mic on.
so, given we might likely not have a quorum, okay? So Tim and I, is it possible, because Tim's on the TDC, for him to go to the TDC, said, we discussed it, we had really good input, people loved it, we just didn't have a quorum? And it can still go to the TDC at that point, and they can vote on and approve the plan? You have to verify that.
Obviously, we don't want to have to wait another meeting to approve this to get it into action. So, okay, I think we should just start with the plan. Yeah, because I'd rather have questions about the plan than and take up the majority of the time with that. Unfortunately, a lot of the hoteliers are out in Las Vegas at a convention this week, so that it just fell on the same week. That's why virtuoso campaign is going on out there. So.
There we go. Nope. Did you turn it on? You all can hear me now? Okay, great. Awesome. Can only get better from here. So, we wanted to take this. Are you? Okay. It's not on the Teams. Got it. Okay. A few technical challenges. So we're going to try to get everyone logged in. But if we want, we can go ahead and proceed with the presentation. And we'll get everyone caught up. I'll be presenting this again next week at the TDC, so they'll get to see it then. Essentially, we wanted to talk about, the year ahead. And 2023 is an exciting opportunity for us. Stacy couldn't be here, but she definitely sends her regards. And we just want to reiterate the fact that we are working our way back into our new normalcy. And this is the direction that we're heading in. This year has produced the most extraordinary travel demand in domestic U.S. history, which is exciting for us. And it's positioned us well to move forward for 2023. In short, our current period of national economic vitality isn't expected to affect our visitation, as transitory high demand and our own emphasis on travelers exhibiting high household incomes counteract any potential for downward pressure. We're expecting to move forward with our new brand campaign, and our research has indicated that we're really talking to people where we need to talk to them, when we need to talk to them, and how we need to talk to them, although we're not reaching them on Teams right now. Gotta take it, can't take yourself too seriously. Anyway, our current demographic is significant. It's the same folks that we've been talking to. We're finding that the mix is male and female, 25 to 65, median age 45 to 54, with a household income of 50,000 to 200,000. And I think the largest initiative that we're going to be focusing on is our new brand campaign. And what we wanted to do with the new campaign is to really create a brand statement, to look at who we are and define who we are. Okay. Awesome. It's all popping up here too. Thanks. I hear you now. All right. We're AT&T commercial. So our new brand statement. As Florida's most inclusive and diverse destination, Greater Fort Lauderdale welcomes everyone to a vibrant community that's filled with both tropical beauty and cosmopolitan delights. Home to garden beaches, endless waterways, sophisticated luxuries, and unexpected adventures. That's what we really want our campaign to talk about. We want to showcase the diversity of who we are as a destination and to really invite people to come and be a part of that. Okay. So the new campaign, we've sort of teased you with it over the last couple of months, and we really want to focus on the people, the who we are, the experiences that people can come and enjoy while in our destination. And in 2022 to 2023, one of our most important initiatives will be just this, our campaign. It will be a new integrated multimedia campaign that will roll out our Everyone Under the Sun brand across all touch points. So everything that we see and do for the next year plus will look and feel, have the look and feel of this new campaign. The new campaign will position Greater Fort Lauderdale as one of the world's most welcoming destinations with a focus on industry, diversity, and accessibility, and will bring the brand to life with storytelling that is surprising, humorous, edgy, and provocative. The upscale styling and luxury offering will also be showcased to continue our appeal to the high-income travelers and reinforce our new brand. So our goal is simple. We recognize that we are moving into the future and expect to reflect pre-pandemic conditions and travel behavior. And in 2022-2023 plan, we'll aggressively ensure that Greater Fort Lauderdale is rightfully placed as one of the top destinations around the world. So our objectives are simple. As I noted, we're going to be pushing this Everyone Under the Sun. I'm not going to read every bullet on this page, but I do want to highlight that every one of our objectives will focus on marketing Visit Lauderdale through our leisure groups, travel trade, LGBT and inclusion, accessibility, and multicultural. We are really going to focus on what makes us great, and we're going to tell people our story.
I don't think your screen is being shared to the people online.
Okay, I don't know how to fix that right now. So we can, for those who are listening, if you are unable to see the presentation, we'll have it posted online, so you'll have access to it. Our KPIs are going to be pretty direct. TDT revenue, occupancy revenue, RevPAR, and economic output. And we're going to push through our advertising, PR, social media, and drive to our website, visitlauderdale.com. We just went through a full rebranding of our website, and we're very excited to, continue to push through that platform. The overarching strategy for 2023 is to increase awareness and an invitation to Greater Fort Lauderdale area through the revelation and deployment of our initial campaign under the new brand. All efforts throughout the departments and toward all targets will present the new brand and the campaign at all times through every available channel, strategy, and tactic, making the new brand campaign omnipresent. I think that's a Dave word. Omnipresent and pervasive through all efforts. Again, we talked about our target. I will call out that the spring, summer, we're really focusing on the multi-generational and families, and then also the winter, fall will be focused more on couples. But again, all the messaging will be consistent across the board. Our geo-targeting, we will call out again some winter destinations. We had a really good program this past winter where we focused on weather-centered, geocentric targeting. So we're going to focus also on Cincinnati, Columbus, Cleveland, Minneapolis, Albany, and Milwaukee, which are relatively new to our feeder markets. Our advertising will effectively speak to our target audiences in all phases of travel planning, and from dreaming and research to collaboration planning and booking to their top trips to Greater Fort Lauderdale. We've recently reestablished our relationship with Visit Florida, which is huge for us. We hadn't had a membership, I believe, for 2 years, and someone is saying they cannot hear us. For the past 2 years, and we now have renewed that membership, so we're very excited to have that going again. Our public relations is going to be, very direct. We're going to focus on telling our story, utilizing fam tours, and working to highlight all that we have available. We're also wanting to go into our ambassador program, and we want to utilize our residents and our business owners to really focus and tell our story and to help tell the story on our behalf. Now that's going away. Through our public relations, we're also going to highlight areas that are fresh, new brands, nostalgic treasures, and less known gems beyond the beaches, and tell our stories firsthand through message development. We've recently partnered with Monetize through our partnership with Simpleview to do our media outreach, and they have done a significant job of growing our Instagram. I don't know if you are aware, but through county government, we're unable to tap into TikTok, which is all the phase, all the rage. But when we realized that, we said, okay, well, we're going to focus more on Instagram Reels, and we've done that. And as such, we've reached more than 60,000 followers on our Instagram page, which is pretty significant. I'll keep going. For promotions, we're going to extend our marketing budget and audience reach to engage the potential visitors through strategically aligned paid and non-paid partnerships and activities utilizing paid, owned, and earned shared marketing channels. We've done recently a partnership with Afar, which has allowed us to tap into the cruise lines and really showcase our cruise product, which has been phenomenal. And we've also recently signed a partnership with Life on the Water to highlight some of our boating and fishing lifestyle. We were a little short in terms of content for that, and we have such great product that this was an opportunity for us to get some really high-end content there. Through leisure, we're expanding our marketing budget and audience reach to engage potential visitors through strategically aligned paid and non-paid partnerships and activities utilizing paid, owned, and earned shared marketing channels. Inclusion. We are known as the capital for LGBT+ and all things diverse in our mind. And this is an opportunity to really stay ahead of the game. We want to push out savvy, ahead of the curve marketing, and it's integrated all under our Everyone Under the Sun marketing campaign. We noted in our last meeting that accessibility is all the rage. I've been to several conferences over the last several months, and everyone is talking about accessibility and how they can tap into that market. I know it does face some challenges for some of our hoteliers, but I think that this is an avenue that we really need to be sure that we are tapping into. There's 61 million Americans with disabilities representing this underserved market, and we've partnered with Travelability to try to help build our platform and help that grow. Multicultural continues to be a priority for us, and we will include that. It will become more a part of the overall marketing as opposed to a siloed approach. Everything that we do will be incorporated in our general marketing. Luxury pulled us through. Luxury got us through the pandemic, and we are going to continue to push our luxury products, continue to try to grow that space and regain our market share there. Groups and conventions, as you all know, we have our significant renovation going on over at the convention center, and we're going to continue to work with all of the trade associations to bring in new events, trade shows to our convention center, and we're looking forward beyond 2025 to bring in those activities. And then in market, we've recently partnered with the now Visit Lauderdale, Visit Lauderdale Food and Wine Festival. So we're excited that they have decided to rename their event, and we're working with them to help bring more activities like that into the area. We recently hosted cricket, and we've had a number of activities that are here in market, but they still drive hotel nights, which is at the end of the day, what we are here to do. And then our sports marketing continues to grow. We position Greater Fort Lauderdale as the area's singular Florida sports destination, emphasizing sports training and events uniquely suited to the destination, which will align the destination's product. This new diving board has gotten us such coverage, and we are going to continue to promote these types of locations and venues throughout the county. We're also going to be hosting the NHA All-Star Weekend next year, so we're excited to partner with the Panthers on that project. And in our leisure and travel trade, as we come out of the pandemic and the international market continues to open up, we are going to continue to work with the airport and Brand USA, Visit USA, Discover America, and the other organizations that are helping to drive that international market. And as I noted, we are also really actively pursuing the cruise market and pre and post events. So we'll continue to move that forward. The last thing I'll talk about is our business partnership agreement, formerly known as co-ops. We are finally in a place where we can put together significant co-op programs, and we're looking forward to sharing those with you all in probably September as we build out our 2023 media plan. So more to come on that, but glad to be finally moving it forward. And as you all noted, our paid media budget is $6 million. That's what we're going for. Last year's budget was $4 million. We are have asked for an additional $2 million and have used that. You'll see that it's distributed pretty much as evenly as it was last year. We did add a little more television, and because of the growth within the budget, we're able to put more behind some of the other digital, radio, print, and social programs. So that wraps it up. Off to a rocky start, but looking forward to a hearty discussion.
Thank you. Does anybody have any comments or questions about the plan?
I have a comment. First of all, I think the plan is very well-rounded. I think you guys did an exceptional job. I think that as a destination, we're certainly poised well to go into the future. And I think that it's very professional. I think we are covering who we are. We're building the brand. I think that we continued to build on, there's some events that weren't necessarily mentioned in the media plan, in the marketing plan, like Tortuga, but those kind of mega events, how we amplify those, the boat show, those kind of things. Also, the various sporting events. I don't know what we're doing this year with the race down in Miami, whatever the car is.
F1.
F1, but those kind of events, even if they're in Miami, I think there's so much residual benefit up here. And so I think that we continue to build on that. I know it wasn't, and I know you just did a quick overview of the whole plan. I spent quite a bit of time reading the whole plan, and I was very impressed. If we had had a quorum, I would have made a motion, but since we don't, I can't. But at least for discussion, because I think that you've covered all bases, and I think that we are maturing as a destination, if I can say it that way. And I love that whoever got us the more money got us more money, because we need that to be competitive. And I also am very happy that you guys have officially linked up with Visit Florida, and then now we can really help leverage that to get what we want out of that relationship. So whatever we can do to help you on that, obviously, we're here to do that. But I think that, the politicking is over now. It's time to kind of get to work and really amplify it so that we are taking full advantage of what they're doing. So that's basically from me.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. Anyone else? Good. Ari?
Since we can't vote, is there an opportunity maybe to drill down on some of the points that you spoke that we can be involved in, and we talk about this? How can we help you?
Sure.
With the ambassador program, is there what is that? What does that mean? What
Sure.
can we do for that? And as well as the Lauderdale Loyalist program.
Sure.
If there's more focus on the people in the area, how does that play into it?
Sure. So the
Thanks.
ambassador program, we are looking to build video content. So going out and interviewing people and building out content for our website to talk about why we are such an amazing destination. For Visit Law, and we'll be working with Aqua. We'll be rolling out a plan for what that looks like, and where we'll be gathering that content. We'll likely be working with David and his team to help capture some of that. For the Lauderdale Loyalists, that is one of our travel agent training programs, which is launched last year and is this year. It was just this year, geez. And has grown significantly since we started. We have how many? No pressure.
Moment, we have about 600 people that have gone on to start the process.
Mhm.
Now we've gotten approval to be able to do some things to incentivize. We had to get county approval on that. So we are, and again, continuing to launch it and push it out
Right.
to drive up that. And we do encourage you, I know I've said this before, I may sound like a broken record, but please encourage your own teams.
To go and
It's not-
participate.
It is for advisors, but we just think it's so helpful for the community, for us to know everything about Broward. And so we encourage you to encourage your teams to go on and become loyalists too. They just have to pretend like they're an advisor. It's real simple to sign up, and it's mobile. You can do it on your phone.
Yeah.
It's great. It really is. We're really proud of it. And speaking of it, we're looking for, you were asking about opportunities for our partners here around.
Do you want to
the
come?
county. We currently have 3 modules, so it doesn't take real long to go through it, but it really does. It covers all of our 31 municipalities. You'll learn something new. Trust me, we all did as we just decided what content needed to be in there. But there will be opportunities for you as partners to create your own modules. So some of our communities might want to plan on doing that. Develop, say, a Hollywood could come in and create their own module. It'd be very affordable, but we can continue to build it out that way with partnerships with you.
Okay, and then I guess just to follow up on that, had asked the last time if there, more for Aqua, if there's like an asset library with these types of things that we're able to download. So if there are key points about the Lauderdale
Loyalist.
tongue twister, that are highlighted that we can then share with our social media if it's relevant to any of the areas that we're in, somewhere where we can go and grab images, grab content
Yes.
that we're able to push out through our
Yeah,
channels.
yeah.
Okay.
So we do have our digital asset management system, which is available on our website, and you can go down and download any of the images that are available, and then any of the content is available on our website as well.
Okay. And not to hog, sorry. Previously, we had like a social media committee, a subcommittee. Is something like that? I don't know who's managing the social media now. Maybe even not on the social media side, but going back to like the ambassador program and to what Ina said. We have so many of these large major events, or it seems like Visit Lauderdale is focusing in on a number of different buckets. So the luxury market and now your title sponsoring with the Food and Wine Festival, that maybe some of those can be looked at as amplifying the event, but also through the ambassador program for interviews and videos, to kind of talk and surround it from different areas. I'll stop. Thank you.
Yeah, excuse me, the budget shows 68% digital and 8% social. Can you clarify the differentiation between those two?
Yeah, perhaps. What's the difference?
Paid social
Paid social, as
to organic social
yeah.
is percentage of the budget. Opposed to digital where we're buying programmatically or buying digital advertising, it's specifically social advertising.
Paid social.
So like Facebook, Instagram, for example.
So I guess my question is, wouldn't that be considered part of digital?
It could be. They just decided to bucket it differently.
They were being social.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Excellent, Maria.
Morning, everyone.
Morning.
I really think you guys have done a great job with this. And as someone here representing Cruise, I would like to echo Ari's, pretty much her list. I don't need to go through the entire list, just to make sure that we consider how Cruise can support, aspects of this plan. I just mentioned to you, we chatted before the meeting that I definitely will facilitate meetings with the right persons within our company to make sure that we are a part of this journey.
Excellent.
A good job. Thanks.
Thank you.
David?
I just wanted to say that I love the plan and what I hear, what I see, but I'm concerned, and again, excuse if I'm off the mark, but I heard LGBT and that, we are the place, and I don't know that we're there yet. I think it's important that we somehow, I hear Visit Florida as a partner, and I don't want to say this, but I think we need to separate Fort Lauderdale from Florida. Florida is not necessarily very LGBT friendly, but Fort Lauderdale is, and I think there needs to be a distinction there. And I think that if it's possible, that we elevate our standing with that community
Sure.
in what we do. So I thought
Absolutely, and I agree with you on that. I think what the partnership with Visit Florida does is give us an opportunity to have a seat at the table to help elevate our position and who we are within that space. So yes, we are going to continue to differentiate ourselves because that is what makes us unique. But we also now have an opportunity to do it on a larger platform.
I have a question. Again, I agree with everybody. This plan is very solid, and I think you guys done a great job.
Thanks.
In regards to the TikTok comment, okay, because it's such a powerful tool now, and I recognize that the county cannot pay TikTok to advertise. However, we are hiring influencers that are doing reels for us, and typically reels and TikToks are virtually the same. They place on both platforms. Is that allowed?
Yes.
Okay,
So
can we encourage that at least?
Yeah, we just cannot have
Engage with-
exactly.
Yeah, okay.
We cannot engage.
So
with-
influencers can, because
Yeah, influencers
okay.
come and they're posting on TikTok.
okay.
That's
Okay,
totally fair.
Okay.
We just
Thank you.
can't log in from our work computers to see
Right,
it.
right. Okay. Thank you. Any other comments? Eileen? Wayne? Excuse me.
Yeah, as long as we're being really inclusive, I think we can't forget some of our other non-Fort Lauderdale communities, and I don't want to forget family-friendly
Of course.
and other areas outside of downtown Fort Lauderdale. So I really want you to make sure to include North Broward,
Yep.
South Broward, et cetera.
Absolutely. And we took that very seriously when we were looking for locations for our consumer campaign, where we're going to shoot, making sure that we're inclusive in all of the destination and we will make sure that that's captured. Yep.
Joel?
Thank you. I just have a couple things. Excellent plan as always. I think very timely in a couple of the initiatives that you're going to do, the accessibility. I see some of the different counties too, and Miami just reached out to do an article on accessibility for their website. So, so it's very hot amongst that group as well.
They must have been at DI too. Destination International. They were at the
probably,
conference.
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, just right. I mean, yesterday actually was. And then also just Palm Beach has also become a little bit more aggressive on the Lux side, both domestically from what we're seeing and also internationally, as far as Lux operators and FAMs, et cetera. So just so you guys know we're the same game there.
Yep.
And then it kind of leads into one of my questions about international. If you're looking at that, or if that's kind of hold based on trends we're seeing, or what the approach is.
Yeah, we're definitely, Tracy and her team are working really hard to get back into the international market. We were just at IPW this past May, June, and had a huge presence, and were able to connect with a lot of the tour operators and start rebuilding that market. And we've opened up our office in Germany already. So we're continuing to move forward and work with all of our appropriate tour operators and partners.
And if I may, I just want to share too that on that international side with the luxury, we are actually adding some shows this year that are luxury based in Europe and South America. So just so you're aware that we are completely in line with the plan here, and you know what the objectives are. So we took our programming as well, and we've uplifted what we're doing in the luxury arena around the world.
Any other comments? Oh, go ahead.
Detail on the international, that's what I was reading on, because some of us who do international travel know that there are people on other continents. Can you put your mic closer to your, can you hear me now?
I think you have to turn it on.
I wanted to get to, well, everything I heard. The plan is great.
Thank
But
you.
I had questions as far as international. And I think she has addressed them well as to what you are doing to reach out on the international market and to whom or where. And the same thing with the selection of states that you have chosen or cities that you've chosen to focus on, target. How do you go about making those selections? You can't hear me? No.
So it's a combination. So do you want to address the international real quick? Oh.
Yeah.
Go.
So on the international market, obviously it has to do with lift and how people can get here. So we're very aligned with the airport and understanding how people get here, and not just our airport, but also from Miami and Orlando. And we look at those opportunities to pull people here. So we have some ideas about where people are coming from. So, you know, our targets now, Canada always is an incredible market for us. I mean, within Florida, we probably have the best service coming into Fort Lauderdale. So that's number one. Europe, UK and Ireland, Germany and German speaking, and Scandinavia. We're going to do some more in Scandinavia this year. As you all know, Norse started their flights in May, coming in here, and they'll be adding some flights from different cities too, out of London and Paris sometime between November and February is the last I've heard from them about that. So we're excited about that. And of course, South America, Brazil, and Colombia are really important for us. So those are the markets that we're going after right now. And I do want to share that you know, during the pandemic, I lost a position. I'm getting that position back starting October 1. So we'll be hiring someone else. And so I currently have one person committed to domestic and one person committed to international. I'm going to be able to have two now for international because it is so important and we need to bring that back. It is slowly coming back and we're seeing that service and so forth, and we've been very, very proactive in working the market. So that's kind of where we're at on this, especially with the luxury market.
Yeah.
And as I said, we're timing that luxury as well, understanding, you know, that is so important to us, and there's been so much change in this community over the last couple of years. It's such a great story for us to go tell. And I do want to share too that throughout the pandemic, we never lost touch with our buyers ever. I mean, we were on virtually, we did a whole series, so we have been constantly in contact. And I do want to stress the importance of our database, and we are working very hard now, but as Kamala said earlier, it's like, you know, who we're talking to, we want to make sure we're talking to the right people, giving them the right message at the right time. That's extremely important to us, and we're really working hard to get our database so that we can do that. So it's, you know, it's real important to us. So.
Thanks, Trace.
Last question, Sam.
Uh,
Still yours.
You can have
on
the
your
mic.
domestic. No, just on your domestic. I looked at Cincinnati, Cleveland, and etc., and I'll focus on the luxury market. How do those connect?
So those are actually more of like the cold winter, cold season, winter season markets that we're going after. And it's based really on,
Yeah, in some ways those are secondary markets, by the way. Kind of
yeah, they're secondary.
quick
Yep.
ones, So don't think those are primary markets. And understand that we really target people, not necessarily geographic markets.
God
This
bless.
Geographic targeting is just part of the profile that we're doing. So when Cameron's presented a profile of who we're hitting, there's a lot of things that we're considering here. But a lot of this is media driven. So for instance, as we manage the media itself, thanks to computers and algorithms these days, they're finding the right people for us, with location only being part of that equation. So it's really a matter of getting the right people to match the profile that we're trying to reach. So the profile that we put up there was income, age, structure, and investment. So there's a lot that's going to go into our targeting besides just the locations.
Regarding luxury, I just want to add too, my team are in Las Vegas right now at Virtuoso.
Yeah.
If you know Virtuoso, it is for agents that have that luxury client. And actually, so they're in the process now, 4 days of appointments with advisors from literally around the world. It's not just like 20 years. Yeah, you know, so it's not just advisors domestic, but it's also international. So both my team members are out there this week meeting with these advisors. And interesting enough, I was sharing this morning with Fran that Caitlin on my team had a meeting yesterday with an advisor who is one of the top 50 in the world for Marriott.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, said she'd be sending a lot of business overseas and stuff. We have that on board.
Nice.
With our Ritz-Carlton as well. So we are definitely, you know, in that arena now.
Excellent. And I see you got the white blazer memo.
Yeah,
Yep.
I know that, Melissa. You want to okay, Melissa?
Just a question. More on the international side, but I know as, you know, when we're still a year out or so, you know, as Disney is coming into the market next fall, and Brightline into Orlando, I think is going to have a huge impact on this destination, or could have a huge impact on this destination. How much at those international trade shows are you marketing, you know, those that are traveling from Europe, let's say, or wherever, Scandinavia, to Orlando specifically? But now the ease of getting down to Fort Lauderdale, we kind of, the state's basically opened up now because of that, or will be. How much do you promote that?
Conversations with Brightline about doing some co-op with them. I'm actually in conversations right now with Virgin Holidays, based on it's Virgin Airlines, they're a tour operator, about trying to create a bespoke program for us that will bring people from Miami. They'll have discounted Brightline. It'll be part of the package. So I'm in the process right now of trying to see how we can leverage that. Same for Orlando. And certainly with Disney Cruise Lines coming in, we're looking at the same opportunity. How do we pull people here from Orlando? We think that's going to be a huge opportunity for us. And of course, we want to stay, spend some money here before they get on the cruise. But excellent point, and certainly part of our storytelling as because that's what the international travelers do. You know, it'll be it's keeping us connected and giving us, looking at the flights coming in from all over. How do we tap into that? So definitely have that conversation, and they're on board. They're excited to do that. And actually, staff person, I don't know if anybody knew Gabe Martinez that used to work for us. He worked for me. He now is the VP of distribution for Brightline, so I got an inside track in.
Great. I know.
I think one of the things that would be helpful going forward, we used to always have someone from the airport and seaport on this committee. And then when there was, now they're not. But one of the things I think is that we at least need to have a report from both the airport and the cruise lines about what's happening so that when we get our minutes for upcoming meetings and the agendas, we've got that as our backup, okay? And even inviting them to be part of this group as an ad hoc member, not an official voting
Sure.
member. Too bad because they could have been here and voted and we would have had a quorum. But anyway, because they always showed up. But so I think that, but at least having that information helps inform this group about what's coming, where it's coming. I even have a question about international. How much is it going to be from Latin America percentage-wise versus Europe? So I think that those are some of the things that as the MAC now goes forward, some of those data points would help us, okay?
Sure.
So that was my comment on that.
Noted.
Any other comments before it closes? Go ahead, Ari.
Can you pull up the slide with the breakdown of the budget, the
Sure.
spend? Sorry, because, and I do know that these are all high level, and it really doesn't discuss, how this money is going to be spent in these different pockets. But with almost 70% going to digital, 68 says digital. I know the socials pulled out because you asked that question. What does that digital look like? I mean,
Do you want to address that?
it's a huge portion. I'm just,
It's mostly video, so don't think of it as banner advertising.
no, well,
right?
that's what I was just curious.
So because of what we're doing with the new brand, we want to push out the video, sight and sound. So it'll go to multiple platforms, which haven't been determined yet. Once the budget is
Right.
determined, the platforms will be determined. But things that we've done this year that were very successful, for example, would be a partnership with Epsilon. So these are big digital companies that push out your content and go straight to the person and then bring back the results in terms of even impact. So it's all good. I don't think, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take what was very successful last year and build on that, and then level on top of that because of the extra money to push out the brand. And it will be with sight and sound, it will be with video.
Okay, so it's mainly video.
It'll be-
That was what I
it's
was
gonna be
curious.
video.
Is
It's
this
very important.
banner ads being placed all around different places?
It's video. And it's video, it could be Connect TV, there's a million different ways for us to now push out the new brand. And so that's what we're in the process of doing.
Okay.
But that's where you do that.
I am a huge fan of, and not to copy anybody, any other area, but I think that it's an amazing product for them, and I think things might have been done. But Discover the Palm Beaches has their show on the town. I think that is amazing. Truly. I mean, we watch it all the time. And I have family up in, that has a place up in Boynton, and so we kind of get an idea, and it's a very engaging host. And we had something like that a while back.
It's like the Check Please
It's
from
like,
Michelle
kind
Bernstein.
of, but it's really curated to
Well, again, I think,
learning
are they,
about.
they're not, they sponsor that show, correct? They don't program that show, do they? I think it's a sponsored show by that.
It could
That I'm
be.
not-
I don't know. A friend of mine works for Discover the Palm Beaches, and I've always wanted to ask her, but I didn't want to seem like I'm trying to tap into.
Imitation's the greatest form of flattery.
Well, it is, but and those types of things are really great, and it does show the people in the area too, which is part of that the ambassador.
Well, we
program.
are looking at a variety of programming
creating-
options that allow us to tell our story in a way that feels more like storytelling and less
Right.
advertising. So we'll be looking at a
Okay.
variety of platforms to do that.
A lot of custom content this year because we were preparing for the brand. So things like the boat show, they come in, they film and market, they create, curate content that we can use, but then they also include in the programming that we buy through a certain company to promote the destination because of just your.
No, I think it's great. I think if it had a bucket of video.
Yeah.
Oh,
Kind of explain that too.
got it. Thanks, Fran.
Again, thank you. I think it was an excellent presentation, excellent plan. So we do not have a vote we do not have a quorum to vote
We do not.
officially. So what I'm going to say at the TDC meeting is that we had an overwhelmingly positive feedback about the plan, and I didn't hear anything negative. So hopefully we can put this forward at next TDC meeting.
Great.
Okay?
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you. Why don't we go on to industry updates? So why don't we just go around the table? David?
David's industry updates. It's been a busy time. Just really, I think that looking at it from two buckets. I'll speak first just from the fact that we do provide service in terms of creating content for a number of like-minded agencies like we are here in Fort Lauderdale, and I would tell you that the thinking all around is that visitors and visitation overall is on the up, and so there's a lot of intent in terms of marketing and spending towards that anticipation. So for us, we've been doing a lot of work in that area. I'll also just speak really quickly to the Island Space Museum, just because we have definitely noticed that things have started to increase. We've had a lot more visitorship now than before, and it does seem as if I don't know if we're going to call this industry-wide, but just globally, the effects of what was the pandemic and what was the health concerns has definitely changed. Now people are moving in positive ways. So that's real quick there. And I just do want to say, just this is a self-plug, that because I did complete my book on Jamaica, which we worked on throughout the first 2 quarters of this year, I've also noticed, because I've been traveling a lot as a result, even more now than before, that travel has really changed. And I think this is relevant for all of us to really look at, particularly with regard to, I had a personal experience coming into Fort Lauderdale from one of my trips where we were held up in the airport. I know there's always issues about travel and why planes are delayed and all of what's going on now, but I definitely had a very unusual experience being held in a room inside the airport here, which I would say for any normal person would have been a negative experience. And I think that we really need to also just, as a destination, look at what are the effects of arrival into our destination, because it can become harrowing and certainly negative if we don't have great experiences coming in and out of ports. So I think that's my update.
Thank you, David. Again, this is just kind of piggybacking on what he said. The messages that are over the sound system at the airport, I think, are very important. And I know that we are having a issue with human trafficking, but I was waiting for my luggage and I heard that message 4 times in a row, and it makes us feel like this is an unsafe community as people are staying in here. The mayor's message is great, but that played 1 time, and the others played at a multiple of that. So obviously I want to be very sensitive, and we need to keep our eyes on that there could be a problem here, but I don't think we need to amplify it at the level that we're currently doing. So let's hear about our cruise industry.
So leading up to the pandemic, or in the pandemic, to restart the business, the industry, we were subject to a conditional sale order by the CDC. We are regulated by the CDC. However, as of today, the CDC has completely lifted that conditional sale order. While they do have recommendations under which, they're saying that we should cruise, generally speaking, they have really been working with us, and we no longer have very specific requirements as it relates to the pandemic to be sailing, and that's really helped us quite a bit. You would have seen announcements recently where we're no longer requiring testing for vaccinated persons, and hopefully moving towards the same for unvaxxed. Frankly, most of our requirements now to sail are driven by destinations. We still have a few destinations in the region, for example, even for air travelers, that you cannot visit there if you're not a national and you're not vaccinated. There are a few destinations that say you're not allowed in their country if you're not a national unvaxxed. So that being said, that somewhat influences, or not somewhat, it definitely influences how we sail. But generally, I will say this, we invested heavily in medical equipment on board, the medical teams, and I do believe I can definitely speak for Carnival, and as an industry, we try not to compete as an industry in the health and safety space. We really, pick up learnings from each other, that we have really put ourselves in a position to have weathered the storm and on an ongoing basis to really cruise safely, considering the conditions under which we were faced over the past 2 years. So I'd say our business is back up and running. And as I mentioned, I am pretty excited to be on this committee serving, because I think this plan is great, well done, and I think it definitely serves as a platform or a framework under which the Lions can definitely work with Visit Lauderdale. So looking forward to partnering going forward. Thanks.
Thank you. Matthew?
How you doing? I'm Matt. Just a little bit of an update on arts and entertainment. I'm from the Broward Center. But I would tell you, and you probably have noticed in Broward County, that live entertainment is booming. Concerts on all levels are activity is high, stadium shows, arena shows. And for us at the Broward Center, we are 99% an indoor exclusive type of operation. We started this year a little bit slow, but we are ending 2022 with the highest volume we've had, higher than our 3-year volume average, like 17, 18, and 19. So we just, from a pure, what we call a curtain going up and down point of view, this is going to be an all-time high. And the story that we tell our staff is that probably is explaining why you feel like you're going crazy. So we have a lot of new staff, a lot of new training, a lot of new hiring, and at the same time having the highest volume count that we've seen in many, many years. We started the year off, it was soft, coming out. If you think back to December, January, February, it was a little bit of a different story in terms of people attending, but we're ending the year with attendance off the charts, and everything being really successful in titles. The family and kids shows, kids and parents have returned. We've got 2 days with Bears Hammond that are going to be, blockbuster. No issues with, concerns or people returning. We've done a lot of surveying of our audiences because we were worried about not only people getting over concern over indoor activity, but just with lingering and potential, economy issues, price of gas and disposable income on entertainment and recreation, and all indicators come back. We were worried, we were budgeting for people to go backwards, and actually all of our indicators in our surveys said that people plan on attending more. So they want to do more, go out more, be social more. So we're wrapping the year up strong and looking for a tremendous 2023. And in the touring industry, that feeds a lot of activity into the marketplace. The kind of the concert level in that 2,000 to 3,000 range, which is where we sit, it for 2023, it's going to be very strong. There's still a lot of national tours that are still have shifted their plans into 2023, so they're trying to make up the smaller hall shows like the Parker, the 1,200 seats and down. Activity is off the charts because it's very easy for those smaller acts to mobilize and tour, so we see a ton of volume and activity coming into the marketplace for 2023. So
That's great news. Jim?
Morning. All my years being on this committee, I think this is the best marketing plan I've ever seen. And as Ina said, it's well-rounded. So I think it's a great job.
Agreed,
Thank you.
agreed.
Thank you. Lagomar. You know, leisure business is down right now, but it's always down this time of year. August is the second slowest month, and September is the slowest month. Kids go back to school, and just slows down. That's the way. But the weekend business is still pretty good for us. The drive business has really picked up again this summer, so we get a lot of locals around the area. Anybody, any place, you know, Georgia on down the line, any area in Florida, we get that drive business still. What we do see is group business picking up. You know, we don't have the biggest space for groups in the county or in the area, but for us, we see little groups picking up. More and more groups coming in, calling us, and wanting to stay for their business. You know, one thing you talked about ADA. We get, believe it or not, we get some people from Europe who've been coming here for years, and they have people in wheelchairs, and they tell me this area, and probably, you know, maybe the state, has the best access for wheelchairs anywhere they've seen, you know, at home in Europe. It's not the way there as it is here, all the way from, you know, from curbs, you know, all the curbs, all the parking, and hoteliers. And I know we have some issues with hoteliers, but still, they complement how they are, you know, how we are here with ADA and the wheelchair access. As far as airlines, as far as coming in, what states coming in here now, nonstop flights has really made a big difference coming into Fort Lauderdale. Years ago, we always used to get the tourists from the Northeast. The Midwest used to stay in the west coast of Florida. That's not the case anymore. We see nonstop flights from Texas. We get a lot of people from Texas now, Ohio. I heard somebody say Ohio. And again, that's changed over the years. Again, you know, those nonstop flights make a big difference for tourism in Fort Lauderdale. It really helps us out. Human trafficking, you mentioned human trafficking. I don't know if anybody knows this, but a couple years ago, the state of Florida now makes hoteliers take courses. So once a year, in fact, they say that Florida is the third largest state with human trafficking. So the front desk, the bellman, and the housekeeping department every year have to take a course, online course, about human trafficking awareness, and, you know, if they see something, telephone numbers to call, online, you know, course they take is good for them. It makes everybody, but it's an annual course they have to take. And then the health department comes in and checks to make sure we're doing that course. They check all our documents. We have to sign a thing. Everybody takes the course, has to sign a document, just to let you know what's going on with human trafficking in the hoteliers. That's it for me. Thank you.
I guess just a brief update on what we're doing with the City of Fort Lauderdale's Parks and Recreation Department, Los Olos Oceanside Park System. The 2021 study came back that we had a $7.5 million economic impact with public parks, and the programming that we did, we're waiting for the 2022 numbers to come back afterwards. So as we're looking into planning out the 22-23 programming schedule, our buzzwords right now are evolve, elevate, and echo. So we really want to evolve what our programming has been, look at the way that the demographic and the community is changing, the people that are coming in, what we can do to provide them new reasons to come back or just having a great experience. Elevating that experience by providing, even though these are free events, VIP offerings, unique experiences to have within that same space, and then echoing what both the city and the county are doing on a promotional level, both with events that are coming into town. So how do we capitalize off of Visit Lauderdale Food and Wine Festival, Odyssey Music Festival, Tortuga Music Festival, by building out things, either preceding them or following them, or series, which is why I was so interested in the digital. We did a At the Market video series with Greater Fort Lauderdale Food and Wine at that time, where they came to the farmers market with local chefs and were cooking there. And I feel like people really enjoy seeing those things. We had a 4-pillar system that we built on from the park called FAME, which was food, art, music, entertainment. F, we're really moving into the film sphere. Working a lot with the Fort Lauderdale International Film Festival now. I don't think that that's really gotten as big as it needs to be, and maybe put a little bit more behind it. I know Broward County is really trying to get our film, back. So maybe by doing some additional things with them. E is evolving into environment. We've always been a very environmentally friendly destination, but how do we really position ourselves that way? So we're working with we've been working for the last 2 years with a group out of Kenya called Ocean Soul. They recycle flip-flops into art and sculpture. And I am hell-bent to have, a big flip-flop sculpture here, either at our park or within the area. It tells who we are, that we're conscious about our environment, that we are a flip-flop culture, and that we make beautiful things. So I urge you to come and see that. And then I can't see what I wrote. And then I think the biggest thing out of, that kind of came out of COVID, which we're bringing into this year too, is collaboration. We all really relied on one another during this time. We can't go back to being in our own silos. So we started partnerships with different cultural institutions. Broward Center, we were really happy, and we're going to continue that. We started Broadway at the Beach by having the Spotlight students come out, and we're looking to continue that all the way through the season, working with the Broward Cultural Division on bringing some new things, working with Art Serve, really showcasing our local community, also in this public space, which I know we talk about all of our different regions, but if you are coming to the area, you are hitting that beach at one point, even if it's for an hour. And so we really want to show people what we have and who we are, in that area, to have that as a takeaway. And that's our update. I still have no money like Fran, so I can't plan for anything. But once we do, we'll be able to share that too.
Fran's got $6 million. Okay. no money. I was gonna say. Go ahead, Bobby.
As Matthew mentioned earlier, live entertainment is booming. Certainly, events and entertainment and festivals are as well. I may have mentioned at the last meeting that the Florida Renaissance Festival this past year had a record-breaking year, a banner year. We had 100,000 people, and we are anticipating that growth to continue next year. As a matter of fact, we're waiting on Broward County to give us the green light on adding an 8th weekend, to jump from 7 to 8 weekends. So we will be the entire month of February and March in 2023. Also, we'll be bringing back the Fort Lauderdale Pirate Festival in April. And there's also plans underway to do a new jazz festival in the fall of 2023. So things are really moving along, and we're excited for the future.
Congratulations.
One more thing, the Renaissance Festival, we're excited with the possibilities of doing a cross-promotional partnership with the Ohio Renaissance Festival, the Maryland Renaissance Festival, and the Georgia Renaissance Festival. So we'll be getting some exposure over in those 3 states.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Meredith?
Digital, I've heard around the board mostly, and I think I will probably just be doing some reflections on a couple of points. One, as relates to accessibility. We often think of accessibility as people with known handicaps, but as I've entered into my 8th, decade, accessibility has a lot to do with age. So I hope that you will look at that. Our body may tell us to slow down, but our mind says keep going. And there are a few like me. I happen to be Aries and a Ram, so I just feel I can knock a hole in the dam. But that is important. And those are people who have disposable income, they have time, and some have the abilities. And just as an aside, not being braggadocious, in October I'll go to Rwanda. As you know, I do Africa. I love Africa. I've always wanted to see the gorillas, but I have just gotten to the point, I guess, where I think I have time and disposable income to do it. And I said to the guys, and I got an invite because they were here in Fort Lauderdale doing recruitment, and that's marketing and promotion. that we can do in some of the other areas. So the trip was fairly free, which gave me a little bit of more disposable income. I said, I want to see the gorillas. Rwanda is noted for its lowland gorillas. I said, I don't know whether I can walk to see them. And the point I wanted to make was, that's no problem. We have porters and mechanisms where we will ensure you will see them. We'll carry you where the lower land ones are, but there are mechanisms to make people who have limited mobility or even no ability to get around and see things. And those are considerations that we have here and the capability, whether it's going to the beach or taking the ride across the Everglades, that we really need to push and use, because we are flat. We don't have hills and rocks and all of that. We just have sand you may get bogged down in. But I don't want to beat that, but I did want to highlight and congratulate you for putting that as a priority, and I'm sure that you consider we old folk in that particular category. The other was on airports and arrivals, and I did not realize, I knew I hadn't seen him, but that the airport representation was no longer on the map. It is so vital, especially to us in the travel industry, to know that, because you plan around arrivals, whether they're going on a cruise, whether they're staying or whatever. And the messages that occur are so important. When we do a lot of travel, and I do a little bit, kind of around the world, when you get to the airport, there's always something great going on. You know, there are dances or there are video going up and down the wall. It's pleasant. Yes, you do know that there's a problem with whatever's going on in the world at that time. But the point is using multimedia to welcome people and tell them about the city. It tells you about things to do, places to eat, sleep, dance, whatever. That is something I don't recall seeing at our airport when you're walking down those ramps, and even though we are laid out a little bit different from a lot of other airports, but maybe we could infuse some of that, even some of the culture events. You see the dancers, you know, that's why I love going to the islands or to the Caribbean. You hear music, you feel upbeat the minute you step off that plane, that you're ready to bounce and do something. But those are some of the things, and you see pictures of what's out there. So I would like to get that feel when I get off the airport, and not, as David say, be rushed into a room feeling uncomfortable or standing waiting on my luggage and hearing over and over again the fears of coming to South Florida. And you do hear some of them. I guess I've gotten to the point where I kind of tuned them out. But as I listen to you, who's not in the industry, I know how important it can be. As relate to getting people coming to Fort Lauderdale, I do get to visit Lauderdale, and I do share it a lot with my social media in promoting travel. It's very good. I like it. If that means anything, you have my permission to just keep doing more of it. The diversity of the messages through the years, I think I heard you say it's some of the best that we've had, having been on this committee for several years or so. So I'm glad to see that you're speeding that up. Everything from multicultural to LGBT plus and whatever else will come along. And the final comment, yes, that I would make is for the arts, the Broward Center. I think one of the things that happened coming out of increased gas prices and just being bored from being in at the pandemic is that people want to do things close to home. They're getting out, but also you have become more diverse in your offerings. And that is one of the key things I think that's made the difference that we have asked and harped on through the years. So congratulations. I mean, you have everything from rock and roll to opera to kids and family plays. So those are pluses, and that's what people want to do, whether they are visiting here or whether they live here. So I'm glad I'm here, and this has been a great meeting, even if we didn't have a quorum.
Well, thank you. I do want to discuss the airport and the seaport representation. I believe when we reviewed the charter that they weren't qualified to be on. Is that?
No, they could have been on. It was a matter. Back then, it was a matter of how many people could be on the MAC. Okay, and unfortunately, we have a lot of people that aren't showing up, and I think we have to look at that again too. But I think that they certainly could be on now as non-voting. But if we have vacancies, we may want to put them on again. So I think that's something to discuss with Stacy. I know it has to be appointed by the Tourist Development Council or whatever, but whether they're physically here or not, they all have reports they can get to us, and I think that was the initial plan that never got followed through on. Okay.
And again, I think we should just at least once every 6 months have them, 2 of the 4 meetings, have them both report on what they're seeing. So if we could do that. So. Elaine?
Okay. Well, as this time of year, most of the cities are a little bit slow because they're not meeting often in August, but private industry seems to be going gangbusters. In Pompano, we have so many projects going on, lots of new restaurants under permit being built. We are getting a big apartment boom too, which I guess has nothing to do with tourism, but also our Chamber of Commerce is going to rev back up, and I will be doing a new tourism update, which I haven't done since right before COVID, to our business community. It's open to anybody. It'll be in the next 6 to 8 weeks, a whole rundown of what has been going on in tourism and what's coming up in tourism in Pompano and the North Broward area. All of you will be invited if you'd like to come. I like to get several speakers from the horse's mouth as to their projects and why they located here and and what we can all expect. So that'll be sometime in the next 6 to 8 weeks. I'm looking for an appropriate time at our cultural center to do the presentation. Yeah, I ditto that August is a little bit slower, but we still keep getting lots of last-minute rentals. So our books, where they might look a little scary in the beginning of the month, by the end of the month, they're pretty full. So I'm fairly satisfied, but there has been a dip in occupancy. I guess that's it for now. I wasn't put in a room at the Fort Lauderdale airport, but I had one of the dogs all over me in the baggage claim, and it turned out they found a very badly bruised banana in my luggage. All eyes, everybody was looking at me and the dog going crazy, but they were doing their job. I also agree that our airport could be a little more fun when people come in and land, and it could be some really things as simple as doing those big, wooden postcard frames with a scene behind it where people can take selfies and everything. A little bit of music here and there at peak times might be really nice. It just gets people in the mood. It's like, wow, we're here, So I think maybe some things could be done that are not really that expensive. Maybe an ambassador program. I see sometimes in cities where there are people walking around with big flags, like in Montreal, and it just says, "Ask me." And it might be nice on just a volunteer basis without even regular hours or anything for, when people have time. A lot of realtors like to volunteer for stuff like this. And, and just floating around the airport, ask me, and people can ask their questions about the area from people who know a lot about the area. So just some ideas.
Just a quick comment on that, because it's a long time ago. I don't know if it was 10 years or 15. It was a long time ago. They used to have a program where they had jazz music in the airport, artists presenting their work. It was organized by the cultural division, and I know because I was a part of it for at least 2 or 3 years. But I haven't heard or seen anything like that in a long time. But it would be interesting to see if something like that is possible again, where they bring artists of various genres to just be in the airport providing that service. And it was, as far as I recall, free. It was not a paid gig, but it was something that the artists did because of just the interest and exposure and things of that nature. But
So that's all for me.
Thank you.
Thanks.
For the Sawgrass Mills Colonnade perspective of things, traffic is good. We're busy. We're really busy. We've not seen the international back in full force yet. They are coming back, so we are seeing them. Some groups, we're usually mostly FIT business. We ran a mini campaign for Formula One. It actually performed quite well, so it was a nice test for us for the first time to do something like that. So we'll probably see us doing a little bit more of that, just really targeting the audience when they are here, when they've arrived, to then draw them out. Just on that side, we are opening a few, or we have opened. I'm not sure if I've told you about these. Balmain is opened, Fendi, Balenciaga's coming, Joe's Jeans opened, Primark's expanding, and we just finished a fun Rent the Runway pop-up. Yeah, it was fun. And that's kind of what's going on right now. We were at IPW and Huddle. We will again next year be doing trade shows. We're more aggressive next year. Our budgets are back into the tourism aspect of marketing as well.
Great, thank you. Melissa?
Yeah, not a lot to report as far as changes since our last meeting in May. Our traffic actually has been pretty good this summer. Our restaurants continue to perform well. Jewelry, so luxury, things like that, continues to really do very, very well, which for us translates to like Rolex sales and things like that. So we are seeing that. We continue our work on our development. So right now the plan is, I know I was asking earlier, is to be at commission in September. So lots of plans moving forward from that. So hopefully lots of changes in the next year or so. And I will say congratulations. I thought it was a great marketing plan that you put together. And I do agree with the discussions about the airport. Just as a local, I don't want to trash the airport. Certainly, I was just there this morning dropping my husband off, but it's just not a fun experience at our airport. I do agree for locals or tourists. Just the traffic, there's so many things, and I think it would be good for the airport to be here to, hear our discussions, because I think there are some things that could be done without a lot of expense that, maybe coming from a group of marketing people, maybe they'd take us up on some ideas. I also do miss getting, because I will tell you, I frequently go to the CVB's website, the airport's website for stats when we have to do quarterly reports to ownership. And the port, really, their stats are years behind. The CVB, you guys have really been doing a good job lately of keeping them up to date. I was just on it last week, and same with the airport. But I would really love to encourage Port Everglades to update their stats. So for those of us in the industry, we could have a better idea of what's coming in and who's sailing, but how many, and what the cruises are looking like quarterly. So, but thanks, great meeting. Thank you.
So, couple things regarding Travel Host. We have continued to grow our digital division. That has nothing to do with tourism, actually, but it could, and it's been very successful. However, our magazine is in great demand. I always kind of judge what's going on in the destination by people calling me, I need more magazines, and so that is encouraging, okay? people, I don't care how old they are, and I'm not 80 yet, but I'm approaching there, dear. I don't care how old they are, they still like picking something up and reading it, and then they'll go check it out on their smart device. So that's all great. I think as a MAC, a couple things as an observation, I know a couple of years ago, we put together a framework for attendance. And I'd like to readdress that again, because when we have people consistently not showing up, these seats are very valuable. They really are. It took a lot to just, to invite you all on, right? And so, and I understand this was, virtuoso, and I think we have to time our meetings better. I think we have to get our meetings out a year in advance so everyone can get it on their calendar, because people are busy. But I think what I hear also, folks, I would love us to do a brainstorming meeting where it's not any agenda. We just get together. And because there's so many great ideas that come out of this group, but then we're limited because we have to leave, go back. But I think it would just once a year I know that you all do something like that, whatever you call it, right? And so I know we have to advertise it and do all that stuff, but I think it would be great to get these great minds together and just brainstorm with each other, right? So I think that would be useful as well. And I think that as a destination, I have never been more proud. Now, I want to say one other thing. Unexpectedly, I traveled to Europe this summer. I think half of Lauderdale was over in Europe. I think my Facebook was a travel log for everyone traveling all over the place, everywhere, right? It was like, I didn't have to go anywhere. I just have to look at my Facebook feed, right? But one of the things about this destination, I agree with everyone saying about the airport, it's easy here compared to where I was. Just getting in and getting out now may not be a great experience, and we have to work on that, but how close you are to everything. The other thing, and we're talking about luxury, and I went with someone who's likes luxury travel and a lot of luxury shopping. That's not me, but she does. But we arranged at every destination to be picked up from the airport, delivered, so there was that luxury experience that I think we're missing as a destination. Even a tour, if someone wants to go on a tour here, who do they call? I'm not sure what they see, but first of all, who do they call to arrange a tour? So as a travel tourism destination, I think we're missing some things, particularly as we're moving into that more luxury. People expect more, and they want to be treated well, and they want a luxury experience. They want to be picked up as a VIP. They want to be taken places, so all of that. So I think we need to elevate our game as we are attracting more luxury, because, listen, other places do it. But for the most part, we're easy to get around, folks, right? And I think we need to emphasize that more. And, listen, some of these airports I was in, it was a horror story over there, right? And particularly now. So I think that we want to promote, not being locked in a room, but I think we want to promote those kinds of things as part of our marketing. And I know we used to do that a little bit more. It's easy. We're close to everything. So I think that I just wanted to say that as an observation.
Thank you, Anna. I kind of want to hear why you got locked in a room, but that's a story for another day. I want to hear why you got locked in a room, but that's another story. Yeah. So I do agree that the airport is critical as the first experience, and I don't want to. I think we have really great. They do a really great job here, putting that many people through. Again, I fly out of there constantly, and I certainly have the choice to go to Miami, and I try to avoid that airport. So I just think we need to soften up some of the things that we do at the airport. And I think it would be great to have them at our next meeting to do the updates and things like that so we can get a little feedback. In regards to restaurants, this summer has been strong. It's not as strong as last summer. I think last summer was an anomaly, having the ability to stay open when travel was shut down in Europe and everywhere else. That was a huge lift for us. We are seeing group business come back. We're seeing a lot more parties booking and things like that for the holiday season early. But overall, it hasn't been as good as last summer, but we're still ahead of pace on 2019, which is good to see. So all in all, positive. So, and again, I just want to echo. I think you guys have done a great job with this presentation and this plan. We're very happy about it. I will express those comments to the TDC next week, and hopefully we get this in place for right away. And I do want to revisit the attendance policy because it is critical that we're able to actually take a vote on this. It's a privilege to serve on this board, and if people can't make that, then we need to make some changes about that. So, without any other comments before we, sure.
Just in terms of the next meeting, we're looking at November the 11th. I'm sorry, November the 9th. We just need to verify that this room is available. So put a tentative on your schedule, please. And we heard you, Ina. We heard you.
Well, let me ask you something.
It's
Let me ask
Wednesday.
you something about that too.
Yep.
Why do we have to meet in this room?
So in terms of being able to document and record and push it out, so I don't know how we ended up on a Teams meeting, but they have the technology to be able to share the meeting, and we can then just post it on our website.
Okay.
Okay. All right, great. So motion to adjourn.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Me too.
All right,
Next time.
I mean, you know, it's not, what it, we've had lots of changes, obviously.
Yeah, it's someone else.
Stores and, but, you know, I live near the development. Right now.
Well, that's